This is FanCastic, the fantasy book podcast where we fancast all your favorite characters from best-selling fantasy books. Hosted by me, Loretta Kincaid. I'm a former stage and screen actress, current fantasy book narrator, and Hollywood entertainment professional working in TV music. This week, we are doing our first Author's Aside, where I sit down with author Brittany Gossin of Dreamwalker and Unbound. So meet me in another realm, and let's make some magic. Hello, mere mortals. Welcome to FanCastic. This is a special FanCastic. This is FanCastic Author Aside, which means I am sitting down with an author, and that author is, of course, Brittany Gossin, author of Dreamwalker and of Unbound. Brittany and I have worked together for a year and a half now, as I was her narrator for Dreamwalker. And when this episode comes out, when you're listening to this week, in a couple of days, I will be meeting her face-to-face for the first time. I'm really excited. Her and I will be together at the Enemy and Lovers book convention in Arizona, presented by Tea and Tropes. We will be there at the Fantasy Ball. We will be at the Fantasy Night Fair. We're going to be at all of the markets. She is doing a panel, and we're going to talk about all of that in this episode. We're also going to touch on the fact that Brittany is a superwoman. She does everything. What her background in writing is, what Dreamwalker means to her, where the books are going to go, where Unbound is going to go, and you will hear it here first. She reveals the name of the second book from Unbound. We have the FanCastic exclusive. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Brittany. So settle in. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Grab a margarita, get some tacos, and hang out with me and Brittany. Welcome to FanCastic. Thank you for being on as our very first Author's Aside. I've never had an author on before, and you are my author.
And you are my narrator, and I'm
Naturally.
so happy to be here.
Naturally, we had to have you on because we just did Dreamwalker as our first independent author FanCast.
Which I loved, by the way. I
was
loved
gonna ask
it.
you, I was like, did you watch
I
it?
did. Yes, of course I did. I loved it. Although I do have to say, in my head, Ethan is a Knight's Tale Heath Ledger. That's what I see in my mind, is Heath Ledger from A Knight's Tale, like with the hair and like just the stature and like the eyes. That's literally what I was picturing, was Heath Ledger from A Knight's Tale when I was writing it.
If my husband wasn't out working right now, I would just bring him in here to be like, do you mean him in a blonde wig?
Nice.
Because he looks like Heath Ledger and Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a baby.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Like, that's awesome.
That's part of the reason I was like, I love him.
Yeah.
I was like, hello.
Yes, I will take one of him.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I got the brunette model, not the blonde.
That's fine.
So I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I know that we were like texting each other during it.
Yeah.
And it was like you watching and you're like, I have to go to bed, but I'm going to finish it.
I did. I had to watch it in 2 parts. Yeah, I started watching it and I was laying in bed with my AirPods on. My husband's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm watching my FanCast. I'm like, I need to see it.
Emily was like such an amazing guest because she said this in the episode. She called me out of the blue to be like, 1, you're amazing. 2, this author, this is one of the best books I've ever read. I adore it.
Aww.
Like she is like an audiobook girl.
Right.
And when she knows an audiobook is good, she knows the audiobook is good. When she knows a book is good, she knows a book is good.
I appreciate
she's
that.
an avid reader. So she's a fan of yours, and
that's
we'll probably be
exciting.
watching this. So we'll be like,
that's
hey,
exciting. That was
So-
super fun to watch.
Yeah.
It really was. That was super fun to watch.
We took some liberties with some characters.
Yeah. That's okay.
You know what?
I loved them. And I loved the final one. Like when you pulled them together between the two of you, I was like, yeah, that's a pretty solid idea.
Her Bastion that she picked,
Yeah.
which was from like this pirate show that was on Netflix.
Right.
I've never heard of this man in my
I
life.
watched
This-
that show. I can't remember what it was, but I watched that show and I agreed with her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she said it was a graphic novel that was adapted.
Okay.
I'd never heard of it before. When she pulled him up, I was like, oh man, because I don't know why, but Bastion in my head was a redhead? Maybe because like
No, I agree.
dragon?
No, I agree with you. Yes. Yeah. Like in my mind too, he also has red hair. Probably he's from Dragonflight. And then if you know anything about Unbound, which is set in Dragonflight, Keegan has
Mhm.
red hair. All of them have very Irish features.
Yeah.
And that's mostly my husband's family is Irish. So it's like that's what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see when I'm
You're
thinking
like a
about.
little biased.
Right. And right. So a little bit biased. But talking about Unbound, like Keegan and his brother, their
Yeah.
relationship, some of the lines that I wrote, my husband helped me write because I gave him a line and I was like, I need a comeback. Tell me something that you would say to your brother. And he gave it to me and I was like, oh, that's really good. So he helped me with some of the dialogue between the
Okay.
brothers.
Okay, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively teamwork. Just kidding.
Maybe let's not compare me to Blake Lively because I don't know how I feel about
Not
her.
right now.
And I
Not
do
right
love
now.
Ryan Reynolds, but like maybe not right
Me too.
now.
We're just mad at him right now.
Yeah.
We're upset with him right now.
Yes.
I'm still thinking about switching to Mint Mobile though, so
Right.
I
Right.
can't hate him that much.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of Unbound, so you are hopefully people who are listening to this have heard of you. I'm sure they have.
And if they
You
not,
are
and if
Brittany
not, now they
Gossin.
have, here I am.
Now they have. You are the writer of Dreamwalker, which I narrated, and Unbound, your second release,
Yes.
which is kicking ass right now.
I'm hoping it's doing, you know what's so funny is it's not doing as well numbers wise as Dreamwalker did, but the feedback has been phenomenal. And it's so cool because every single time I go to in-person events, people buy both books because they're like, okay, I need both of them. I need both of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, you do need both of them actually. So you can
Yes.
get like the full range because it's a multiverse. So I'm writing it as a multiverse because I have in Dreamwalker, I have so many characters that come from so many different places. It leaves it open to travel to the places that all of these characters are coming from. You have elves and fae and demons and dwarves and dragon shifters and vampires, not called vampires because she doesn't like that word, Jagach. Yes. So like you have all of these things. And it's so funny because when I was writing Dreamwalker, and Cole's the one that shares the history of Dragonflight with Ella and Rhea. And when I wrote that, I was like, man, like it'd be really fun to write about the rebellion that they went through and breaking the chains of how the dragons were treated, because Bastion has this bias against Ella because she's human, and in Dragonflight it was like humans versus dragons. So as soon as I wrote that, I was like, man, I need like this. It just had to come out. The story just had to come out. And I felt like it wrote itself. It was like one of the easiest things I've ever written because it just came out.
Yeah. I loved in Dreamwalker just how each character has a different story, right? Like I think with any sort of like magical school or like training school, there's people from all walks of life and of realms. And not often do you get everybody's story, like a snippet of like, oh, this is where they're from, this is whatever. With Dreamwalker and Unbound being interconnected.
Yeah.
And just the first step of being interconnected, you don't get to see that. And so you're going to have this 5-book series for the Realm of Dreams.
Yeah.
And then you said it's a dual.
So it's going to be a duology for Unbound. So I'll tell you the title of the next one, which I haven't released yet. But
oh my God. It's a FanCastic exclusive?
It is. It is.
Oh my God.
The next book is
breaking news. Breaking news.
It's going to be called Unchained. Yeah. So it's going to be Unbound and then Unchained. And
Love.
Because like they're going to have to truly finish the rebellion that's going on and truly break the chains of everything that's binding them. So
it's so hard to talk about this.
I know. Something else that I love about Unbound is that each of the characters have something that's binding them, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's they all have something that is binding them and is keeping them from being who they truly are, doing what they truly want to do. So Unbound isn't necessarily just for the dragons. It's also for Ava, our princess. It's also for Rona, our Blood Witch. It's also for Zedek and Malcolm, who are part of the crime syndicate. Like it's everybody is bound in some type of way. So they're all searching for that way to become unbound.
This is why I love fantasy too, because I feel like we read it to escape reality, but also everything that's always in fantasy is almost a direct reflection of what is happening in reality, but obviously it's heightened and in a way that's more
like accessible,
digestible. Yeah. That it's like,
sure.
Oh, I see myself in this character. Why do I see myself in this character? Like your books that are released are fantasy. Is that like your main genre?
So
or do you see yourself like moving?
Well, so I actually have a rom-com in the works, which I love. So I'm very much a romantic-y girly, but I do love a good romance. There's just some times where like I'll read a romantic-y and then I have a book hangover and I can't go into another fantasy world until I have a palate cleanser. And then I'll switch to like Elsie Silver or Tessa Bailey and read like a cutesy like rom-com, Western romance. And the rom-com that I'm working on, which I don't know when that's going to get done because that's on the back burner because currently I'm writing an urban fantasy about vampires and werewolves, very reminiscent of Underworld. It's very like vampires versus lichens, but it's going to be enemies to lovers, very 2000s like rave vibes.
Yes.
So I'm working on that and we're going to try to put it on submission. We'll see how that goes. Dream Chasers with the editor right now. So once that got done, and then I had an editing client, her manuscript is back to her. So now this month I can focus on working on the vampire werewolf novel.
Yeah. So Brittany, you do 800 things. Okay. I'm going to list this. I'm just going to like list this because I need listeners, watchers, viewers, whatever, to understand the level, like you don't burn the candle at both ends. Like you are like a bomb with all these fuses and they're all lit at the same time.
I really am.
But you haven't gone up. Like you have not exploded.
Yeah, I'm an agent of chaos.
I don't know. Truly, like, I don't know how you do it. So you are an English teacher.
Yes. And I'm teaching an extra class this semester, so I don't get a break during the day. So I teach 4 classes during the day. I don't have a prep. I don't have a break. I have 20 minutes to myself all day.
They're like middle school, high school?
High school. Yeah, I
teach
teach
high school.
I have 3 freshman classes, 1 senior class this semester. Normally, you only teach 3, and I'm teaching 4.
You're a teacher.
Yes.
Of high schoolers.
Yes.
Doing an extra class. You are an author of 2 released books, 1 audiobook.
Yes.
You have 1 book written and to the editor. That is the sequel to Dreamwalker.
Yes.
Book 2 of 5, the 5-book series.
Yes.
You are working on, but it's on the back burner right now, a rom-com book that, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like about a winery?
Yes, yes. So set in New Jersey, set in Cape May, New Jersey, which is very dear to my heart. It's going to be very like New Jersey, like winery. It's cute.
Okay. Then you have an urban fantasy that you're working on.
Yes.
You have a master's degree in creative writing.
Yes.
You were a bodybuilder at one point.
I was for 6 years. For 6 years, I did bodybuilding. I was a pro bodybuilder. I got my pro card and I was a pro bodybuilder for 6 years.
That's so sick. That's so sick. You are a mother of 3.
Yes, 3.
And you do editing services.
Yes. And formatting.
Have I missed anything? And formatting.
I just taught a craft night 2 nights ago.
You make teacup gardens.
Here they are. I make these.
Yeah.
Fairy teacups.
You make teacup gardens.
Yes. Yeah.
What time to do this? Do you sleep?
I don't know. I do sleep. I took a nap for 2 hours today, actually. It's so funny. My husband will come home and I'll have cleaned the house and he's like, where are you hiding it? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He was like, the cocaine that you just did. Where are you hiding it? And I'm like,
oh my God. For the record, Brittany doesn't really do cocaine. And if she does, good for her.
No, Brittany definitely does not. Brittany could not handle that. That's nothing that I've ever done before.
You're like a fucking powerhouse, bro.
Oh, and I adjunct at our college. Yeah, I'm an adjunct professor at our local college.
This is why I feel like so fortunate to have you on here, but I am like so grateful to work with you and be your narrator.
Oh, I'm so happy that you are. You're phenomenal.
I feel like you're phenomenal. You truly are like an inspiration. When I started working with you and was like, who's this Brittany? Because I woke up to an email through ACX, you asking if I would be interested in narrating your book.
And I listened to a couple people. And then I came across you and I was like, oh no. I was like, she's it. I was like, that's her. That's Ella. I was like, that's what I want. And I'd never used ACX before, so I didn't know that I could put up like a casting, but I'm an Aries and I am like 100% an Aries. And I was like, that's who I want. I'm just going to message. Worst thing is she says no. That's my Ella. I'm just going to shoot my shot and see what she says.
And what you didn't know was that a week beforehand, I put in one of my little witchy magic bowls of things I was manifesting and things that I wanted. I woke up to that email being like, hey, like I've had this fantasy book. If you look at it, I would love for you to do it. Can you send me a sample? And we'll see. I was like jumping up and down in my bed. My husband was like, what is going on? I was like, somebody wants me to be their fantasy narrator, which has been a dream of mine. I've done narration and voice work for things, but my favorite genre is fantasy.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I want to be able to do that. Like that's what I want to do. And boom, there you were. And it's so funny because I just feel like we also instantly clicked.
Yes,
like,
I was going to say that. Like when you emailed me back, I was like, oh, this girl is my type of girl. Like this is like my type of person. I already know that we're going to get along. She's my type of people. Like I already know.
And you're from Jersey and I used to live in New York. Like wish I was still there sometimes. Like now I'm obviously in California, but I do miss New York. I knew that you're like East Coast, get it done. I'm of the same mindset.
Yeah.
So I got you. I feel like us working together has been so fun.
I agree.
I'm wearing my Ella necklace right now that I wore. I wore it every time I recorded as Ella. So it just helped me like stay in my character.
I love that.
I was like, I think this was like a long-winded way of being like, everything you do has inspired me. And I just feel like very fortunate to work with you and continue to work with you. At one point when we first started working together, you were like, you're going to come with me. Like, whatever I'm doing, you're coming with me. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, teamwork. Just, it instantly went from, I know a lot of audiobook narrators are hired and they do their thing and they send it and that's it. And they don't really have a relationship with the author. And that's not what I want to know. I want to bring your vision to life.
I'm such a loyal person, though. If I find a person that I feel deserves my loyalty, I'm going to be loyal fiercely. And I just love you so much. And like, we work so well together. And so
you guys, that's what this episode is. It's actually just us being like, I love you.
Just a big love fest. Just a big love fest.
It's just a big love fest.
Yeah.
And you can catch this love fest.
Yes.
In Mesa, Arizona next week.
Yes, you can actually. Wow, what a great segue. Yeah, I can't wait for next week.
Take it away, Brittany.
Yeah, we're going to be at Tea and Tropes, Enemies and Lovers in Mesa, Arizona. It'll actually be the very first book convention that I'm going to that I had to fly to. I'm super excited. There's going to be a lot of fantastic authors there. Some of them are friends of mine, which I'm excited about because I've never met them before.
Shout them out, Brittany.
Sam Davidson's going to be there. C.A. Blooming's going to be there. Courtney Wynn is going to be there. Elle Cayley is going to be there. She wrote Glass Wings. So I'm super excited to see these authors that I admire and that I've become friendly with. And if I wasn't going, I wouldn't be able to meet them. And all their stuff is amazing. Oh my gosh. When you go, you're going to end up coming home with a gajillion books. I swear. You're just be prepared.
I went to the LA Festival of Books last Sunday and I was like, you are allowed to buy one book. I get one book. And I was like, I bought one series. And I bought a 3-book series and was like, it's just one series.
I went to my very first book convention was Imaginarium last year in Washington, D.C. I think I bought 15 books. 15.
I'm afraid for my bank account.
Yeah, 15. And I just couldn't help. I just couldn't help myself. I was like, this looks good, and this looks good, and this looks good. And then I got to go to all the authors and have them sign it, and it was super cool. And then I'll actually be there as a signing author at Imaginarium this year. So it's the first weekend.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's the first weekend in June, and it's such a fun convention. Yeah.
Are you signing there? Are you doing a panel? Because Teen Tropes, Enemies and Lovers, you're doing a panel.
I am doing a panel. Yeah, we're going to be talking about self-publishing, which I'm excited about. I feel very well versed in that. I also have a digital download of, so you wrote a book. What do you do next? So it's basically all the steps that if you want to self-publish, these are the steps that you needed. It's basically all the information that I wish that I had when I began self-publishing, because sometimes you're like, okay, like I have this book. What do I do now? Where do I go from here? What's the next step?
Yeah.
So I have that on my website. So we're going to be talking about self-publishing at the panel.
Yeah, and it sounds like the indie author community is huge.
It is. Yeah, it is.
I had no idea until I started working with you. And I was like, oh my God, she's got so many followers. Holy crap. There's this community that you all support each other so much. And if some bullshit goes down, like everybody's on threads, like on like,
oh my God,
book threads, and is like, going after someone, like
shutting it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that about the book community, especially the indie authors. Everybody is always so supportive. And I honestly have yet to come across an indie author that's made me feel badly, or an author in general. You have the big time authors that don't really engage too much. If you think about it, like their circumstances are different than mine. And I don't fault them for that. But then you have other really big names like Stacey McEwen. Have you read any of Stacey McEwen? She wrote Chasm.
I think Chasm's on my TBR.
Oh my God,
I think it's on my
so good.
want to read.
It's so good. And she's so sweet. She's awesome. I've messaged her a couple times and we'll chit chat. And she has a new book coming out in July. Actually, her book comes out the same day my book comes out. Her book is Forbidden Alchemy. I got an ARC and she gave me an ARC, which was super nice. And I loved it. It was so good. You have to read it. But she's super sweet.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just seems like such a supportive community. And then with the events like book cons and stuff, I didn't know that there were book cons. I didn't realize that was a thing. They're adult scholastic book fair. And it's incredible.
With the authors who write them. Which is so cool. We'll get to see the person. And as an author, it's crazy. So last year when I went, it was in June and Dreamwalker was coming out in July. And it was just awe-inspiring to like see these people who have like done the thing that I was aspiring to do. And and it was cool because I knew some of them from Instagram and they were like, oh, you'll be here next year. And now I'm going there. And yeah, I mean, it was like, it's crazy. It's crazy. I actually,
and you know that there's going to be someone walking around who is like you, who is like a new author thinking that same thing. You get to be that person to be like, hey, you can be here next year.
Which is cool. And I love meeting like other people. At my last book signing last week, there was a woman there and she's going to be publishing middle grade fantasy. And we were chit-chatting and I was like, that's amazing. Not many people can say they wrote a book. You should be really proud of yourself. And I was like, if you need any help or anything, please message me. I'd love to help you. And if you have any questions, it's just really cool being able to connect with people and especially aspiring authors. Because I remember when I was starting out and I was like, oh my God, this seems like such a huge undertaking. What do I do? My book fairy godmother is Jamie Coolican, who writes middle grade fantasy. I taught with her at a previous school and she was like who I would go to with all my questions because she'd done it. And thank God for her, because if it wasn't for her, I would have had no direction. Because I'm somebody like, I need a person, you know what I mean? I need a person to talk to, not just Googling what to do. And then you get 50 million search results. So it's always nice to have a person to speak to.
If you want to write a book, write the book. Right? There's like a huge phrase that everyone's like, write the book.
Yeah, write the book.
Just do it.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, not everybody can write a book. It does still seem like a supportive community that when someone's like, hey, I wrote this book, honest feedback is given with ARCs. Goodreads is like a little bit of a dangerous place, I think, when you're an author.
Yeah, don't go there.
You don't do it because people will be honest.
Yeah. Yes.
But sometimes,
You know what I love about it is that I've had reviews where people are like, oh my God, the world building was fantastic. It was amazing. And then directly under it, it's like, it lacked world building. So it's so subjective. You know what I mean? Which is
Yes.
great because that's one of the things that I love so much about books is that something you might like, I might not, but something I like, you might not. But it's so personal. Books are so
And it's
personal.
okay.
And that is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And every book will find its readers. And it's okay if even the 1-2-star reviews that your book gets, the point is that you're hitting a wide base of readers. And I've read books because of 1-star reviews and
Yeah.
ended up loving them. Those reviews, like, yes, like, do I read my reviews? Yes, sometimes. Sometimes I do.
Of course you
Sometimes
do.
I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm like,
of course.
I just want to hurt my own feelings. Let me just go and see like how it's doing. But
sometimes you're just having a day.
right. But it's nice to see that the books are reaching a wide audience. And that's what you want. And it's okay. It's okay if people don't like my book because somebody else might. And
yeah, this feels like a good segue into why did you start writing? You have a master's in creative writing.
I do.
What led you to writing and what led you to specifically creating the story of Ella and Dreamwalker and linking that to the universe that will include Unbound and Dream Chaser and all the rest?
So I've been writing for as long as I can remember. Actually, I wrote my very first book in kindergarten. And it was about a dinosaur who had no friends. And he was like searching for a friend. And then I got to elementary school and I wrote a book. Actually, I have it like somewhere over here.
Like your desk.
Yeah, I printed it and I put it in a binder. And it was something to do with castles. Then I got to high school and I wrote a vampire story that had zero conflict. Okay, no conflict.
Amazing.
Zero
Amazing.
conflict.
It's like Twilight where with like the easiest ending, like, hey, Edward, hey.
And then when I was 22 or 23, I wrote an urban fantasy about an assassin. And all these books will obviously never see the light of day. But I've been writing for as long as I can remember. I got my bachelor's degree in education and I had a concentration in literature. So when I went to get my master's degree, I was like, I want to do this for me. I know I want to publish. I know that's something that I want to do. So I'm going to get my master's degree for me. Because I could have done a concentration in creative writing, but I want a teaching job. So literature would probably be better for that. So then I went and got my master's degree. And then Dreamwalker came about because of NaNoWriMo, which I know there's some pretty negative things going on with NaNoWriMo and that it's shut down. But
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. There's like...
Oh my God, I have not heard this.
Oh, yeah. I don't know the specifics, but I know that it's not good. And I'm pretty sure that NaNoWriMo is shutting down because of all of the negative things going on with it. And people don't want to be affiliated with it anymore. So that's your homework after we... So
I'll put the T in the show notes.
Yes, there you go. So I wanted to use NaNoWriMo as a reason to say, I'm finally going to start writing this book. I'm finally going to finish a book. I'm going to publish it. This is going to be it. I'd had the idea for Dreamwalker in high school. I had this idea, like, what if when you fell asleep, you woke up in another world? And this was the world that you went to when you slept. In high school, I called it the realm of Hade. I don't know why, but that's what I called it. And,
I kind of like that.
Right. And so I took that idea and I'm like, okay, I actually really still like this idea. Let me see what I can do with it. I spent like all of November outlining it. And then I wrote it from December to like February. I decided that I knew I wouldn't be able to write a full book in November because that's just not, I'm not going to be able to do that. But at least I could use that as a building block. However long it takes me, I'm just going to do it. And then the next thing I know, I had a completed story. And then the next thing I know, I needed beta readers. And then the next thing I know, I was booking an editor. And then I was setting a publication date and I was getting a cover. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Went 0 to
actually
60.
I'm actually going to do this. This is something that and
Yeah.
I've been dreaming, like, there's been a couple things that I've wanted in my life. I wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to publish a book, and I want to get my PhD. I'm like slowly checking things off of like my
Yeah.
goals. And honestly, I do have to admit, there was a little bit of, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be 36, which is basically 40, which is basically 50, which is basically
Absolutely not.
dead. I need to hurry up and write a book because I always said I wanted to do this and I'm running out of time because like I'm basically going to
Meh.
die. No, but that was like the spiraling of my thoughts.
36 is the new 26.
I know, which is fine. I love being in my 30s.
Mhm.
But these are all the thoughts that I'm having. I'm
Yeah.
feeling pressure to do this because I want to do it and I needed to just commit to it. And this is what I've always wanted. Even when I was in high school, I was like, I want to be a writer, but then I need stable income. What can I do that's going to keep a roof over my head and food on the table? I can be a teacher and then I
Well,
can
and what's more
write.
inspiring than a teacher who's a published author? If any of your students have any aspirations to be an author,
One of my girls loves to read, and I'm always asking her, "What are you reading? What are you reading?" And she's a freshman in high school. And I looked the other day, I'm like, "Hey, what are you reading?" It's Dreamwalker. She was reading Dreamwalker in my class.
oh my God.
Right?
Did you be like, excuse me, I need to take a moment and like go
Yeah.
cry in the hallway? I would
Right.
have.
I was like, "You got it?" And she was like, "I've been begging my mom for it, and she just got it for me." I'm like,
Oh my God.
I
And
was like,
she
"You
like
get an A." I was like, "You get an A."
purchased it. Like she wasn't
Yeah.
like, I have a book.
No,
She
like,
was
yeah,
like, I
she-
want to go buy this. This
Yeah.
is my teacher.
Yeah.
You
And-
know that she walks around and probably tells everybody
I know.
that too, right? Like she's like,
And-
oh, this is my teacher.
Oh my God. And
I
get this
love
though.
that.
One of my seniors was like, "Hey, my mom bought your book. Will you sign it for her?" And he brought my book in so I could sign it for his mom. And he said that his mom was like, "Do not mess up this book. Do not like bend the corners." And I was like, "What?" I was like,
Oh my God.
"Of course I'll sign it." I was like, "Thank you so much. It's wild. It's amazing. It really is. It's so humbling." I tell my husband all the
Yeah.
time, I'm just a random person. Like I get my like coat caught on door handles. Like I'm just like
Wait, that's such like a good human analogy.
right. Like if you ask my husband, like I don't know how to load a dishwasher, but I can write a book.
So yeah, that's insane though. You wanted to be an author immediately. The second you were like, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it. See what happens. And it's like the universe was like, oh, yay, you finally chose your path.
Yeah. With Dreamwalker, I had 850 ARC applications for Dreamwalker.
What?
Yeah. 850 ARCs.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. It was
Holy crap.
wild.
I think Dreamwalker is so interesting too, because I'm like a spooky girly. I listen to ghost podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the podcast, Two Girls, One Ghost?
No, but now I'm going to have to look it up.
It's really good. They live in Salem, and then Morbid, they do like true crime. They're also,
Okay.
I think they're in New England area too.
Okay.
Two Girls, One Ghost has had several episodes about the paranormal and about dreamwalkers and astral projection and lucid dreaming. There's an episode that I'm going to send to you that
Okay.
after I had already recorded Dreamwalker and read it and it's been out, I listened to this episode and I felt like I had to pull my car over because I didn't realize it was such a thing. And I was like, this is insane. Not only did she like came up with this concept, but like this concept really speaks to people. So there's like a whole other demographic of people who like spooky paranormal that probably picked up Dreamwalker because they've had like weird paranormal experiences.
I can lucid dream, which is...
You can?
Yeah, I'm able, not all the time, but a lot of times I'm able to lucid dream. I know when I'm dreaming, and there's been plenty of times where I realize I'm dreaming, and if I'm in a situation, I'm like, okay, I can just fly, and then I just make myself fly. And
That's insane. Have you ever asked anybody in your dream the date and time?
No. And I saw something about that
Apparent-
too, actually. Yeah, apparently you can't do that. But no,
You're not
like
supposed to do
normally, right. Or I'll be underwater and I'm like, I'm dreaming, so I can just breathe. And then I just breathe underwater and then I just have a great time doing things.
It's insane. Okay, so
Yeah.
like this, so of course you came up with Dreamwalker because you can lucid dream. I can't. I've always been like so fascinated. I don't think I can. I can tell myself when I'm dreaming, but I can't will myself to do something in the dream. I
Yeah.
just know that like
And
I'm like, oh, this is a dream. Try to remember it.
sometimes it's hard, like when I realize that I'm dreaming and I want to fly, I have a hard time getting off the ground and then I get control of it and then I'm flying. But there's like times where I'm in the air and I know that I'm dreaming and I know what I can do. And I'm like fighting myself because it's almost like my mind doesn't want me to realize that I'm dreaming, you know what I mean? But I do.
Yeah.
So I'm fighting against myself to be able to do the things in my dream that I want to do. For a while, I was practicing astral projection. But yeah, like I believe in all of that, which is.
Oh my God. I'm shocked that you haven't listened to Two Girls, One Ghost. So it's Corinne and Sabrina are the hosts.
Okay.
And they're just incredible. One of them is really into the dark witchy stuff, and the other one is like more into the light witchy stuff.
Okay.
And so them together is like very fun. That whole episode that I had listened to, people were like, there's this tree in this world that people go to and they will live lives in their dreams and like are able to go to sleep and say like they know where they want to go and then can live lives in these dreams. And there's a couple that met each other in this like dreamland when they were kids.
Wow.
And knew that they were going to be together.
Yeah.
So like with Dreamwalker, I'm like, I love this. This is real.
Yeah.
There had to be some inspiration behind it. So it makes sense.
Yeah.
You can lucid dream. You can astral project.
Yeah.
You're a
and
spooky paranormal girl. Got it.
Yeah. And like something else, I always I'll be in a dream and then I'll wake up and then I'll go back into the same dream. And then I'll wake up. And then I'll go back into the same dream. And it's like a continuation of the dream. Like,
I'm so jealous. I cannot do that.
I don't know. It's like I go to sleep and I'm like, okay, I wonder where I'm going to end up tonight. Like, where am I going to go?
Yeah.
So I've had this idea for, I graduated high school in 2007. So I've had this idea for a really long time and I'm happy that I have made it what it is. And something with Dream Chaser is there's a scene, like it's not long, but there's a scene where you see dreamers.
Cool.
Yeah. Because like I want to remind people that like it's the astral realm.
Yes.
Dreamers go there when they're dreaming. Yeah. So there's a scene where you get to see dreamers who are experiencing their dreams, but the characters see them as like specters.
In Dreamwalker too, it was such a shock to me, the time difference, the dream realm.
Yeah.
And the human realm, the awake realm, the time difference was like so crazy because sometimes, your dreams feel like 5 minutes and you've had a full 8 hours.
They say that you only dream about 30 seconds before you wake up. Yeah.
This is new information.
Yeah, I've read that.
Brittany's also a scientist.
I've read that, that you actually only dream 30 seconds before you wake up. So all of those things that feel like they're happening all night long for hours is only 30 seconds before you wake up.
My mind is blown right now and I kind of feel like I want to throw up.
Somebody can fact check me on that because maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I remember reading is that, you only dream 30 seconds before you wake up.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're so far off of books right now and I don't care.
Dream world.
Talk about this. We should talk about this. Okay, so that's like our Dreamwalker wrap up. There's I think we hit everything, but one thing I wanted to bring up too was you shared your journey of finding representation, publishing, and what that was like, sending emails. And I remember seeing your reel the day that you got your agent. You shared that moment with everybody. What did that feel like after trying that much and going through the rejections of things and then finally finding that one person? And might I add, shout out, Andy is the best.
Yeah, she is. She really is.
Found the good. You found the good one.
Yeah, she really is. She's awesome. It was like getting rejected I must have sent out, I definitely didn't send out as many as some other people do. I think I sent out maybe like 30 queries, and I never intended to find an agent. I was perfectly happy with being an indie author, self-publishing. The only reason I decided to seek representation was because AST Publishing Group in Russia reached out to me wanting to publish my books. And they reached out to me on Instagram. And I was like, this is a scam. No way. Like, this can't be legit. Like, I don't even believe it. And then I did some more digging and I talked to some other people and they were like, no, this is real. And it's actually common for international companies to reach out to people on social media. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow. I was like, okay. So then after all the rejections, I was like, forget it. I'm done, like whatever. But then that happened. So I was seeking representation and I came across Lunar and I ended up messaging her on Instagram because I think I asked about like her submission guidelines. And then I was like, I've had interest from AST Publishing Group. I'm looking for representation because I don't know how to negotiate foreign rights. Is this something that you could help me with? So she was like, why don't we have a phone call? So it was serendipitous because her one meeting got canceled and my class was ending in 15 minutes for my prep period. So we got on a phone call, we were chit-chatting. And at the end, I was like, so are you my agent? And she was like, do you want me to be your agent? I was like, yes. And that's how I was like, check the box, yes or no. Like,
It's also like, so stepbrothers, do we just become best friends?
Right. Are you my agent? And yeah, she's phenomenal. She really is. It's so nice because like she cares about her people as people and I trust her. She has our best interests at heart. She's not just in it to make money or to have us be a number. She cares about who you are as a person. And I like being with people like that because that's how I am. And yeah, she's been phenomenal. So I have the deal with Russia. We just signed with Italy. Yep, Italy. And we're currently in talks with Germany and Brazil. So fingers are crossed about those. So we'll see.
Do you hear that? We shout out Brazil.
Yes.
Things love when we say Brazil.
Fingers are crossed. Everything's great. But it's so crazy because of all the rejections. I was like, that's fine. I'm okay with getting rejected because I'm going to publish this either way. Like publishing was always a personal goal for me. Like making money isn't my goal. I just want my stories out there.
It's not
nice.
The goal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a full-time job. And if I do make money and if writing is able to pay some bills, then I'm happy. Then that's more than I could have wanted. I just wanted my stories to be out there. And if people love them, then they love them. And if they didn't, then that's okay. I just wanted to be able to say that I did the thing that I'd wanted to do.
I'm so proud of you. And I'm so,
thank you.
Like, I just feel like so blessed to know you.
Thank you.
And like,
you're so sweet.
I don't say the term blessed a lot.
Right.
So like,
that's
huge.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. No, really, I do. I think I've said 100 times. It's just very inspiring that you were like, I'm going to do this. And you did it. And it's like your mindset as an author of, I just want my stories out there.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sitting there being like, I want to be the next Rebecca Yarros. I want to be the next Sarah J. Maas. You're just, I have a story. Here it is.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it. And people are taking it. And it's
which
probably
is
really cool.
It is so cool. It really is the coolest thing ever. Like I just never imagined that you know, the feedback that I'd be getting would be here. And it's so funny because my husband even said to me, my last book signing was at a local bookstore. It's actually the only store that carries my books in a brick and mortar store. So it's very near and dear to my heart. And it's an indie bookstore. They're fantastic. Ren and her wife own it, and they're both phenomenal people. And I love them so much. I had a book signing there and I sold out of all my copies. So they had 18 copies of Dreamwalker, and I think I had like 25 copies of Unbound, and I sold out of all of them. I called my husband on the way home, and I was like, I sold out. I can't believe it. He's like, Brittany, it's always so funny when you're so surprised of how well you're doing. You're like surprised about it. Cause I am, cause I just don't, I guess I'm a like prepare for the worst, hope for the best type of person.
Yeah.
And it's just always so amazing. I just don't think the novelty will wear off. I'm just so grateful that people are buying my work and like investing in my story and in Ella's story. And I just love these characters so much. They're like real people in my head.
I love that you constantly surprise yourself too. That, and I hope that I'm going to see you in a week.
Yes.
And it'll be great. We're going to finally meet in person.
I know. I can't wait to give you a hug.
I'm so excited. I feel like you're going to be like really tiny and I'm going to be like, hello.
I'm short.
I'm like 5'6". Okay.
I'm 5'3", so yeah, I'm short.
So it'll be like slightly like, and I wear heels all the time, so
I'll go on my
tiptoes.
tiptoes.
But I'm gonna force you to take a moment to like go be by yourself at the convention and just look around, like, and just step back and look at your booth. And when you're doing your panel, I'm gonna be like, give me your phone so that I can record that for you, because these are milestones that you never.
And it's hard.
It's hard to know you would be there.
Yeah, and it's hard to like appreciate it when you're there because it's so busy. It's such a busy thing. Like you're talking to people, and there's so many people, and you don't have like too much time. It's hard to appreciate everything.
We're gonna party at the ball.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I get to go be at a ball.
I know. I can't wait.
We get to go to one. It's my first cringe fantasy ball. Very excited.
I will go to all the cringe fantasy balls. I love all fantasy balls. I don't care. I will go. I will have a fantastic time. And I will wear fairy ears. And I have fairy wings tattooed to my back. So like,
hell yeah.
That was my very first tattoo when I was 20, was my fairy wings on my back. I eat, sleep, breathe fantasy. That's what my sleeve is. It's all like my fantasy characters, and so I don't care.
Yay. We're going to go live out our dreams next weekend.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
Yours is like, literally like you're going to live out your dream.
I know. It's crazy. Huge. I know. It is. It's awesome. And I'm so happy you're going to be there.
Me too. I love that it just worked out. Like,
it did.
Sure, I'll drive to Arizona. Ship me your books.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, like, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to come to a book con?
Yep. It was like immediately. Yeah. Like, great. Cool.
Yeah. I'm like,
you
okay,
can be
perfect.
like,
yes. Like, perfect.
So I'll be there with my little narrator cards and my little FanCastic cards. So if anyone's listening and you're there, stop by booth number 97.
97.
I think. I'm like yelling right now. It's just screaming.
That's okay. I'm excited.
Booth 97. Come say 97. Hi. Come grab a tattoo. And of course, pick up your copy of Unbound and Dreamwalker.
Yes.
Brittany, before we go, make sure you shout out what is your handle? Where can people find you on the internet and your books?
I'm on Instagram at Brittany Gossin Writes. My website is also BrittanyGossinWrites.com, but mostly I post on my Instagram, so you can find me.
Dreamwalker will be available on audiobook again very soon.
Hopefully this week. I think it's next week, like hopefully by next week.
Oh my gosh. So when this is out, hopefully it'll be out.
Yes.
And then I'll link it in the show notes and go pick up your copy. I'm so excited to see you, and you're welcome back anytime.
Good.
Anytime. Thanks, Brittany.
Thank you for having me.
If you enjoyed this episode of FanCastic, let us know by leaving us a comment, liking, reviewing, and subscribing to us on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, or wherever else you listen to us. And don't forget to head to our Instagram and let us know what you think of our fan casts. All fan cast graphics are listed on our Instagram, so sound off in the comments and let us know if you liked our choices, hated our choices, or have a better choice. As always, thank you for listening.